Well, welcome everyone this afternoon for the exit meeting for your external review report and visit. We have had a wonderful week here in your school district, USD 308, Hutchinson Public Schools. So this afternoon we would like to share a report of our findings. It is just a very high view of the report. A detailed report will come later, and so I'm very excited to share this report with you. But before doing that, I would like to, for our team members, we have had fabulous team members this week. Hardworking, very focused and dedicated and devoted to this process and wanting to ensure you the best information that this team can give you. So would you all please introduce yourselves?
I'm Whitney Warren from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I work at Lincoln Christian School and am a secondary 7th through 12th grade assistant principal.
I am Michelle Haynes from Elkhart, Kansas. I serve as a curriculum assessment instructional person of our district.
I'm Lisa Wyatt. I'm a principal in USD 259 Wichita Public Schools, and I currently serve as principal over our adult learning centers.
I'm Jennifer Wilson, and I'm from Tulsa as well, and I'm the Director of Curriculum and Accreditation for our school.
I'm Jeannie Stroh, Superintendent USD 290 Ottawa, Kansas.
And I'm Lisa Stone from Winchester, Kentucky, and I am Associate Director of the Kentucky Office for AdvancED. As you can see, our team has a wide array of experience and expertise. And I want to, again, commend you all for the work you've done this week. It's been a great process with you. Okay, so we'll jump right into the report. First of all, AdvancED is a global organization, and I'm not going to read a lot of these screens to you because I know that you can read them. But we do serve over 32,000 institutions. What's not on this screen is that we are in 70 countries and the U.S. So we are truly an international organization where systems and schools all over the world use our standards and indicators for school improvement and continuous improvement. The accreditation, it is an international protocol for you to follow to make sure that you're committed to sustaining improvement over time. This is about a continuous improvement process. Long ago, accreditation was kind of a checklist for compliance. It is no longer that. It is, it's now about just staying on that journey of continuous improvement. Hopefully it builds capacity among your system when everyone is focused on our standards and indicators. And the other thing we will hope to do is, especially from this point forward in this report, that it will stimulate some improvement throughout your system. The diagnostic process focuses in 3 areas. We focus on the impact of teaching and learning, and I will kind of explain as we go which standards apply to teaching and learning, the capacity of leadership, and then the use of your resources. This report will include several pieces. This actual exit report will include these pieces as well, just not all the detail that the formal report will include when it comes in several weeks. So we do have for you today some powerful practices that you do extremely well according to our team's review of all of the evidence that we have analyzed. We do have a couple of opportunities for improvement. Every school or system has at least one improvement priority. We do have some areas that we feel like when you work on those, it will help take your district to the next level, especially focused on student learning. You will receive today an index of education quality, and I'll explain that when we get to it, but it's an overall number assigned for our process, the results. And then at the end, we will have an accreditation recommendation. So first of all, we want to share with you the numbers of folks we talked to throughout these last few days. I will just let you read the numbers here, but a total of approximately 147 stakeholders. And you can see from the list that this included a variety of stakeholders. So we were very pleased with having the opportunity to be able to talk with so many people in your district. Okay, the first domain is teaching and learning impact. So what we did to do this, we examined student performance diagnostic. We looked at instructional quality and the engagement of the learners and their families. We took a close look at support services for your children, your curriculum, as well as college and career readiness. Domain, and I'm not sure that this shares this on the next slide, so I want to be sure to share it now. It includes standards 3 and 5. So the ratings for this domain come from all of our ratings for standards 3 and 5, as well as the student performance diagnostic. I didn't think that explained that. So first of all, we have a powerful practice in this area, and it's 3.3. 3.3 is geared toward the instructional practices that happen in your district. And this statement, and again, I want to reiterate that when you get the report, all of our evidence for coming up with this finding will be in there. But we really feel like the teachers throughout the district use strategies that require their children to apply their knowledge and skills. They use technology instructional resources that are available to them, which there are a wealth of them. And I think a highlight for this one is the fact that you specifically provide interventions for children who need them, as well as those classes. All of the classes, especially secondary students, receive to meet their individual learning needs, from the high school programs through your technical center. So this is a powerful practice. A powerful practice means that when we rate every indicator in our protocol. It used to be that we would reach consensus, but we rate them 3 different times, and we have discussion about them and make sure that we all have the same evidence and that we're not missing pieces of evidence. And then we finally, the last time, we rate them individually. So then when we get our average rating, we have information that shares with us the average network rating across systems across the world, and then it gives us the standard deviation. So if your rating falls 1 standard deviation above the average, it's a powerful practice. If it falls 1 standard deviation below, it's an improvement priority. If it falls somewhere in the middle, the team can decide whether or not we want to make it an opportunity for improvement, because we feel like that information will help you continue to grow. So this one fell 1 standard deviation above the network average for this indicator. So that explanation will apply to all of our findings. We do have a couple of improvement priorities for this domain. 3.5 is about your professional learning communities. You do have professional learning communities in place, but we recognized, and you have recognized, that maybe there needs to be a little bit of tightening up on the work that occurs among the professionals, to be very focused on examining student work and analyzing data and analyzing and reflecting on their instructional practices, just so everyone is learning and growing together so that student learning needs are met and that we impact student achievement that way. Our ratings were right in aligned with yours. 3.6 is an instructional process, and this is one that's very clearly outlined in our concept map for this indicator, and our rating was aligned with yours. So this is a process that it doesn't look the same in every single classroom, but in every single classroom, students know exactly what they are supposed to learn that day. That can happen in many different ways. They're assessed, and I'm not talking about a big test. I'm talking about checks for learning to make sure they learned it that day. And if they did or didn't, how are you going to adjust your curriculum based on whether or not your children learned that day? And providing students exemplars so they know what quality work looks like, and giving the children, this is the most important aspect of this indicator, is to give them specific feedback about their learning. It's a structure for the way classes operate, and it's very focused on what the students need. And like I said, it's not going to look the same in a kindergarten classroom as in a high school classroom, and it's up to you all to determine that. But implementing this system-wide would be a great improvement for your school district. Standard 5, we were aligned with your rating on 5.1 and just a tad bit lower on 5.5. We combined these two for one improvement priority. Everyone that we have spoken with and through evidence, we clearly identified that a comprehensive student assessment system is just not there yet. There are some missing pieces for various reasons, and so this is about ensuring that you have all of those pieces in line. This connects to this previous one because part of that is having ongoing formative assessments to make sure children learn on a daily basis. But then connected to that 5.5 is about communicating comprehensive student information to all your stakeholders. To be able to do that, you need to have that comprehensive system in place. So we connected those two into one. We have an opportunity for improvement here, and this is to design and implement grading and reporting policies, processes, procedures that represent the attainment of content knowledge and skills. So, at your elementary level, you have done this. It's a standards-based report card. There, and we will share in the report. We got a lot of feedback about that. There's some confusion about understanding it from parents. There are some concerns from teachers as well. It's not that, because we recommend that we do standards-based grading so that we are grading children based on their attainment of knowledge and skills, but maybe some adjustments there. And then so we left it at design and implement, even though there's a lot of work that has been accomplished at the elementary level, maybe some adjustments there, but then look at this concept and act on it for middle and high school. It's up to you all to decide how you do that. Okay, ELLIOT stands for Effective Learning Environment Observation Tool. This is the tool that we use when we go in and observe classrooms. It's different than a teacher observation tool because we're watching students. We are watching them and listening to students. It's divided into these 7 learning environments that create an environment that would end up being very student-centered. I'm very pleased to share with you all that your averages are higher than the network average in every single category except for well-managed learning, and that is just very slightly below the network average. So I think you can be very pleased with the environment that most of your students are experiencing on a daily basis in your classrooms. The report will include a very detailed summary of your ELLIOT results. It will also include each item that's within these 7 environments. There are 30 different individual items, and you'll be able to see the exact percentages of an item that was not observed at all. And that's not always negative. You know, you just weren't in there at that time frame that occurred. If something was somewhat evident, or very evident. So you will get a lot more information about this when your report comes. The next domain is leadership capacity, and we examine purpose and direction, governance and leadership, stakeholder engagement, and your improvement capacity and results. This includes standards 1 and 2 and your stakeholder feedback diagnostic information. We have a powerful practice here. Your governing body, which many of you are here, you have your coherent governance policies very much support and ensure the effective administration of the school system and its schools. We have an opportunity for improvement here. It's standard 1.2, and that is from the system level to develop and implement a procedure for all schools to engage in a systematic, inclusive, comprehensive process to review, revise, and communicate a school purpose. It's very evident that everyone knows and works toward college and career readiness, and many of your schools have mission and vision statements posted on their websites. Not all of them do, and there's not evidence of a systematic process for your schools. You all have that process at the district level, but for the district to have a process for your schools to follow to do this, and to include stakeholders. All right, the final domain is resource utilization. We looked at how you use your resources and allocate them. We know that those become more and more limited every day, but it's really how you allocate and use what you have. The equity of the distribution of those, how you sustain your resources, and then long-range planning for your resources. We have several powerful practices here. First of all, we very much recognize that your facilities are clean. We made sure that we noticed that when we went out into schools, and safe and healthy for your students. We also recognize your management of long-range planning. You have an extensive technology plan, your buildings and facilities. Another resource, your system and the way that you plan for and adopt. You've just finished ELA and you're finishing up math. You have processes in place for that to not just look at next year, but the future for your district. This one is about opportunities for students to engage in technology on a regular basis. And because you have, and the word here is used, an astounding infrastructure. This also included the fact that you have a phenomenal career tech center. I know that's not what you all call it, but I lose that completely sometimes if I don't have it in front of me. But you have a wealth of technology resources for your children. If you go back to digital learning and how students are using those in Elliott, your score is above the network average. It still may seem, oh, well, that's low. But we did see a lot of students using digital tools, and that's one that you don't always end up in the classroom at the time that they're using. But this statement is about the fact that they are there, and there are lots of opportunities to be able to engage with technology, which we know is critical for their futures. The team recognizes a lot of the challenges that your schools and you and your teachers face, but you all are doing an outstanding job, being very committed to improve and provide for students counseling, assessment, referral, and education and career planning needs for your children. We have one improvement priority here, and our ratings were aligned with yours. And because of budget cuts and less in human resources and so forth, we understand that. But given that, then take a look at and coordinating your resources and providing professional learning so that not that teachers and school personnel and students have that knowledge to be able to access all of those media information resources and tools that are out there. Okay, so now those are your opportunities for improvement, your improvement priorities, and your powerful practices. I believe there's a screen in a few minutes that speaks to the work with those. So now we're going to take a look at your index of educational quality. This is a score that is derived from our ratings from the 35 indicators, along with the ratings of your stakeholder feedback diagnostic and your student performance diagnostic. So it's just a compilation of, you'll have an overall score, then you'll have one for teaching and learning, one for leadership capacity, and one for resource utilization. We like to see this as a score, as a beginning of continuous improvement, because in a couple of years, I'll explain in a minute, you do have the opportunity to act on improvement priorities to increase that and not wait until 5 years from now. I'm very pleased to share this with you. This is on a scale of 400. Our ratings are 1, 2, 3, and 4, and so they translate into 100, 200, 300, 400. So your overall score is 280, 211. The network average from across the world is 278, 34. And so you are scoring above the network average. And you can be extremely proud of that, and congratulations to you for that. Teaching and learning impact, there are a lot of strengths. It fell just under the network average. That is the area where there is probably the most room for growth, and you'll see that in the report, and I believe our improvement priorities reveal that. Leadership capacity is above the network average, and resource utilization is well above the network average. So this means that you are performing within acceptable ranges compared to other systems in the network. So we are very pleased to, as a team, to recommend to the Commission that you all earn and continue that distinction of accreditation by AdvancED. So please give yourselves a round of applause. It's a great accomplishment. So here are the directions. The powerful practices are to be celebrated. We consider at AdvancED that if someone has a weakness in a certain area and you have a powerful practice, it's a place someone should go visit. So you had several of those. Improvement priorities must be addressed within 2 years, and your staff will address those and give an update through a report in a couple of years that will come to you through the new system. So I won't get into specifics on that, but the best option is to begin working on those immediately and addressing those. And please take this as a journey of improvement. This never ends, because you all have a fabulous district, and the devotion and dedication of your whole school community was very apparent. But there's always room for growth, and so that's why this is about continuous improvement. And it is about every child, every single day. We have had a wonderful week. I speak for the team in that the hospitality has been fabulous. We have had every need met. Every time we have had a request for something, even before we came, because this team did a fabulous job reviewing all of the evidence that was collected and given to us before we came. And Mr. Krause was just phenomenal in being a contact. We've had a wonderful week, and we have thoroughly enjoyed being in your district. I do want to say that we also have appreciated the transparency that has occurred in our interviews with staff members, with you all, with parents, with administrators, school principals. Everyone has been candid and open, and very open and honest with their responses and their interactions with us. And we have felt that, and we appreciate that, and you need to know that about your school community. We do appreciate your efforts. This is a process that is, it can be challenging. It takes a lot of work. What we're hoping to move to is a situation where we are continuously improving. So when that 2-year timeline comes up, and that next 5-year, it's just a continuation of the work we do. But we do know that you put it forth a lot of effort for this external review team to come in and look at you through a magnifying glass. So we acknowledge your efforts and respect you for that. And we most certainly want to congratulate you on your accomplishments. And I do believe that it's an honor to be part of the AdvancED network and be accredited as a system. So congratulations to you all. And that concludes my report. We will have, again, the full report will contain a lot more information.
All right. Thank you very much. Do you answer any questions? If the board has any questions about process or anything, I know you don't go into specifics of the report itself that's coming.
Yes, I won't go into specifics on the report, but we followed the process pretty much to the letter. I'm a process-oriented person and kind of a stickler for that. But if there is anything that you have in mind right now, I will try to address it, and if it's something that I can't, I will respectfully decline.
So how would you describe USD 308 to somebody who, to a young couple with children who was moving to the community? How would you describe 308 and sell 308 to them?
I would say, first of all, your children would enter into a learning environment where the adults truly care about the children as people. And that was evident in elementary school. That I only had the opportunity to personally visit one elementary school, but also had the opportunity to visit the high school where relationships are key. And we know in this world that, especially with all people, relationships are so important, and that's a priority. And so I would definitely start there with the environment that the children are going to enter into with very caring, devoted, dedicated adults. And then there's a lot of diversity in this system. And I think, myself as a parent, I think that's a very positive thing. The children are going to go out into a world of diversity, and so they're going to experience that. The educators, well, I can't just say the educators, all the support staff as well work really hard to know where your child is in the learning process and address your child's needs. The culture is very focused on children, and I wouldn't want my child anywhere where it is not focused on children. And I think that that's the primary thing that I would think about and share with a parent wanting to look at a school district, and it's just very welcoming and warm and focused on their needs.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you all of the team members. You you volunteered your time away from your work to come and provide this service for us, and we just can't thank all of you enough, and we look forward to getting the full report and reading the details and using this to continually improve ourselves. So again, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming.
Yes.